All right, y'all, I'm back on my live thing here. Let me make sure. I feel like if I'm right here, everybody can see me. Hey, we're waiting on class members to come in. I feel like if I'm back over there, then everybody will be able to see me. If not, let me pull this thing around a little bit more. Because we just started a little bit of the juicy conversation. And I don't want y'all to miss any of it. So, I'm trying to get this thing positioned in a way that is gonna make sense.
Anyway, cause Miss, I forgot her name, the lady with the long nails and lashes that was yesterday. She called me like as I was getting ready.
Okay.
So I had to interview tomorrow.
Okay.
My thing is not to set myself up for failure. So to go in expecting the unexpected, which is the unexpected is getting the job.
Well, don't you worry.
No, I have to set myself like this. So I'm expecting myself not to get it. So that way I won't. Do that make any sense what I'm saying?
No, because then that means that you're not having that right mindset. When you think solution, you think positive, you get positive results, okay? But if you carry yourself and go in there without asking the proper questions, because with or without the opportunity, you're just going to need to find out, what do I need to do better? Because if I didn't do something right, tell me. But you got to welcome that into people sometimes to make them feel like, oh, okay, great. Well, I can tell you what happened, what could have went wrong, or ways that you can improve. That is.
I should ask them questions if they don't.
I mean,
it's new to me, so I'm talking
about It's okay. I'm so happy that you came today because, again, as you're on your way to the interview process, this is exactly what we're talking about today. On the way to the interview process, making sure that we're setting ourselves up for success. What's going on, brother? How you doing? I'm Ivy. I'm happy that you came in here. Yeah. We're just talking. You ain't missed nothing yet. Young lady's letting me know about her on the way to the interview process, and that's exactly what we're talking about today. Like, what do we bring to the table, and what things might we need to change about ourselves as we're on our way to the table. As individuals, we fought for a long time for our seat, right? When I'm looking at me, I'm looking at you, and I'm trying to make sure that this is as real as possible. That we fought a long time for us to be able to have our seat. So if we're going to get a seat at the table, what do I need to bring? How do I need to carry myself? Let's make sure that we're about that, okay?
That's like that's the question that what's his name? That I'm gonna call him A. He was
Errol.
Yeah. See, I think you had somewhere to go.
Yes.
But he finished up with "What's your word?"
Right.
And I'm like, and I feel like it was like the Holy Spirit led me there because I have been asking myself ever since then, what am I worthy of? What is my wife? You know, I know it, but how do I explain it? How do I show them that my worth is what I'm talking about, and then actually being like positive and being for, you know what I'm saying? Not like, okay, I think I can. Don't you gotta also? I gotta also show them that I'm worthy of what I say I am.
Yeah. So you gotta have that. You gotta have that demeanor, that confidence, the way that you're carrying yourself, and then figure out whose expectations am I meeting. Am I showing them what I'm worth and I'm meeting my expectations? Why aren't they here yet? Or is it now I'm walking it, I'm going through it, I see it, they see it. I don't even have to ask anymore because they already know it because I'm doing it. I'm showing them. So now all of the opportunities are going to come. And sometimes that's where we go wrong. Like, I know I'm showing it. Why aren't they seeing it? Instead of figuring out, what do I need to work on? Is there something I need to change just to make sure that they're able to see it, okay? We're going to give them a couple more minutes. Y'all, please know that I feed and fuel off of questions, okay? You ask me questions, I'm going to give you answers. I'm going to give you a lot more of my background today than I did yesterday about the things that I do and what led me here. Y'all got your phones?
I'm about to record you.
I hope so. I just want you to know, go ahead on and take them out, though, and check in. Check in that you're here. Check into on your profile. Go to Facebook.
I don't do Facebook.
What you do?
Nothing.
Okay, I'm just saying,
if
it's just one of those things to just check in and let people know, because social media and things like that, the activity, the way that you carry yourself, it's important there as well. Employers are checking that.
Yeah.
Employers are checking profile pictures. They're checking to see how you behaving and make sure that you're able to represent their.
I have a page, but I don't.
You got time for that stuff.
It just be so like, oh, I just want to make. I think but see, because I want to I went through different stages. I went through this class at different child development, and it made me realize I mean, of course I want to work, but I want to start a chat group also. And the lady told me there that I need to make me a professional page on Facebook to start it out.
And it's a struggle with trying to get people to follow and stay connected. So you have to stay committed. You gotta stay committed, and then you gotta stay consistent. You gotta be able to never have bad days, and that can hide. You can say that. That's easy as said, but if you're carrying yourself in a manner of having a social media presence, then you gotta make sure that on there, that's not the place that you're going to vent about. Well, why did this happen? Why did that happen? And sometimes people they get caught up in the moment. This is a real life thing. I mean, even when you're at work, sometimes when your patients are getting tested, you get caught up in the moment.
Definitely.
You're a human being.
Yeah.
But human beings then learn from the mistakes that they made if they do something about it, if they take ownership, if they say, hey, I know that this is where I went wrong. Alright? Look, let's go ahead on and get started, y'all. Alright? Again, this what do I bring to the table presentation was put together because I wanted to make sure that as an individual, when we're setting ourselves up for success, we have some of the key things that make sense. Alright? Now, this is going to be a interactive, even though it's just us, hopefully our congregation will grow, but it's going to be interactive, okay? So, let me set up some expectations, which are some things that I'm going to need from y'all and y'all going to need from me, okay? Vice versa. So I've already set it up with interaction is a must. I'm going to call you out. Tell me your name. Janelle and Bridget. I'm going to call y'all out. Look, because right now, if I'm a resource and I'm in this space dedicating my time, use it wisely. I want to give you what I got, so why not ask these, make sure that you interact with me. Please feel free to stop me. Ask me some questions. Like I said, resources, when they're in the room, I was a hiring manager in Greensboro for 8 years. If we're talking about going to the interview process, let's make sure that if this is a resource and it's right in front of you, ask some questions. Ask some of the things that maybe get you hung up in some of the interview processes, okay? Use what you learn to enhance your employment opportunity. But not only that, use what you learn to enhance yourself. I've understood that if you carry yourself how you want people to see you at all times, if you don't want people to see you acting up, don't act up, right? If you don't want people to see you, y'all get what I'm saying. You gotta make sure that you're carrying yourself how you want people to read you and understand you, and make sure that you're not sending a confusing message. Now, I want you to share my contact information with all your friends and family, and if anybody is tuned in right there, I need to make sure that y'all do the same. Like I said, go on your Facebook page, like my page. You got your phone? Go on your Facebook page, like my page for me real quick. It's the Hospitality G. I'm going to put it up there so you can see. I'm going to do it again. So my Facebook is the Hospitality G. Alright? The Hospitality G. My website is www.thehospitalityg.biz. And I'm on Instagram at @the_hospitalityg. Yeah, I put a motivational piece up every day. Consistently. That's what I'm telling you about that social media thing. It's gonna take some time. I want my thousands, I want my million followers. So share this, let them know, tune in, the Hospitality G, okay? Guys, again, please make sure that you share my information. Now, what is my business about? The Hospitality G is a hospitality consulting with access to over 100 hospitality professionals, led by a charismatic, people-focused leader who helps organizations take hospitality to new heights. Genuine engagement with every individual and passionate about encouraging them to be their best. So that's what I'm doing. I'm passionate about giving my time and making sure that you all are set up for success and able to do your best, especially on the way to the interview process. It just makes sense. Now, what we do at the Hospitality G, we build communities, all right? We create connections. Y'all don't know how many times my phone rings daily to say, hey, Ivy, I'm thinking of this, get me connected. And I feel like that's important. If I know it, why wouldn't I share it? All right? So I start coming with a price tag. No, I'm just messing. Just make sure you understand. I do motivational speaking. I'm very passionate. You saw me yesterday. I'm passionate about the things that I believe in. I'm passionate about my community. And I want to share this energy because I got a lot of it. All right? The next thing we do is gender spectrum training. That's a different navigated arrow, but sometimes people need to understand how to treat human beings like human beings. Okay? That's important. All right? Now, I do individual and group coaching for managers and frontline team members. That's all about what my organization does, okay? So I feel like that's enough about me, and I think we should move on to making sure that we're able to sharpen the success toolkit. All right? We talked about it a couple of weeks ago at Johnson Second Chance Staffing because that's where I usually do my Tuesday community conversations. But these are things that you already come equipped with. Things that you got to make sure that as you're on your way into that interview, you're bringing them, such as that neat appearance. Told you yesterday I was coming suited up, so do my hair, especially because look at how I wear my hair, so I got to make sure that I keep it professional. It's only important. Neat appearance is a must. If you need to know, you're in the place where they get it, where I got it. I came to the Goodwill. I came to the Carolina Thrift. Oh yeah. Or the shoe department Encore on the 3rd floor of the mall. These are places where you can go and look and feel like $1 million without spending $1 million. But sometimes we got to let our pride out the door of where we're going to get our things from so we can make sure we fit that criteria of neat appearance. It's only fair. We got to make sure that we have a great attitude. What I mean by that, everything that's happening outside of the opportunity that's coming your way, you better figure out how you're going to put them emotions on the shelf so you can go in with the right attitude for that first impression because you only get one. Your ride was late. You better not be wearing that. You mad because you had to walk a mile because you had to ride the bus? You better not be wearing that. These are things that you need to make sure that you bring with yourself. And then that smile. Y'all already know about a smile. A smile is necessary. You cannot go anywhere without it. I'm not going to say that you can't go. I'm going to say that I advise you, if you're on your way towards success, you better put your teeth out. And you better smile about it. All right? Good grammar. Especially, like I said, when you are already in a category and you're expected or anticipated to sound one way, you got to make sure that you are practicing enunciating, communicating clearly. Because if I'm looking like this and people can read, they look at me. But I have to make sure that I show them differently. I have to make sure that I am clear with my communication because this is intentional. But this is all in my toolkit. Now, all of these things are things that I'm almost certain that you already have that you can bring with you to the table, correct? Yeah? Now, we're going to get a little fun, all right? So, my next part of interaction is when I'm looking and when I'm doing like this, I need y'all to talk about what do I bring to the table. And that's from the context of you yourself personally. What do I bring to the table when I'm thinking about the next things that are coming up, okay? Have I done my research? We're on the way to the table, right? We're on the way to the table. The table is the interview. So what do I bring? Have I done my research? This starts at home, right? What is my availability? You must know what your availability is in order to be successful. When I say availability, that means what shifts am I available for? How many hours do I want to work? Sometimes when we're coming from a community where we need some, assistance or looking for an opportunity, there's some barriers. We understand that, so go ahead on and be real with yourself and thinking about what realistically is my availability. I was trained as a hiring manager to ask as the first question, what shifts are you not available for? So if I had to ask that question, what shifts are you not available for? You're not available for third shift. Perfect. What shifts are you not available for?
Second and third.
Second and third. Perfect. Now, if anybody were to go any further to ask why were you not available for that, be ready to spit that out, but y'all did perfect, okay? You would not believe with how many people who come into a space, and when you ask them, what shifts are you not available to work, they say, oh, I can work every shift. Do you want to know what that didn't get? An opportunity because you weren't listening to the question that was asked, okay? Next, we need to know where, as in location, and what is the environment. I already talked about a reason for location, because if you have to rely on public transportation or a ride, then you already have to plan, and plan again. You have to get up extra early so you can get that bus that's going to take you down to the depot, right? Then you're going to get on another bus. Like, all of that is extra, but you're going to have to plan it. So you better know what location you want to go work in. Then there's some things that I know as far as barriers that's going to have to come as far as environment, right? What environment am I allowed to go be successful in? If there are some things that trigger you in different environments, that ain't the environment for you. If there's something that has a pendant on your background, then that's not the environment for you either. And you can't be mad about it, but the reality of the situation is you can't change your past, but you can change your behavior. So let's figure out how we can put ourselves out there in the right environment and make sure that we're setting ourselves up for success. The next is, what do they stand for? And what do they believe in? If you do not understand the mission of an organization that you are getting ready to go and apply for, then you will not be successful. The mission is going to be how they expect you to behave, how you are going to buy in, how you are going to be able to do what they need you to do. If you can't believe in it, if you don't know what they stand for, then you don't know what you stand for, and how are you going to be successful? That is necessary. If the mission is here and how you believe is here, it ain't for you. You are working so hard to try to fit into the mission that you won't be able to be successful. There's no way around it. If you can say, oh, they paying good over there, that money is and you're going to say, oh, I got to go deal with these people again to do this. You're going to be able to do it for at least 6-7 months, something like that. And you're going to be like, I'm so different. But I will guarantee you, if you do not believe in what that organization stands for, you will not be successful. Okay? The next thing is, what role and what position do I want? That means that you're doing your research. Do you know how many people come and they still come daily? Oh, I'm willing to do anything. Are you serious? Well, go ahead on and get that show. I got a dog out back, right? You know what I'm going to tell you. Well, no, that's not what I want to do, but you said anything. And that's where we go wrong. If we haven't done our research about what position we want to do, and we go into a place of business and ask, y'all hiring? Well, I'm willing to do anything. You know good and doggone well you don't want to just do anything. It sounds real good. It sounds real good. In your mind, you're thinking they gonna hire me because I'm willing to do anything. But then when they lay it on you, you're gonna be like, what that? So you gotta be upfront with yourself. What position do you want within that organization? Not only that, what are the requirements and the expectations of me? We talked about that yesterday, right? If the requirements are to be there on Sundays, and then you get to, y'all, let me tell you real quick. I used to work over at the Proximity Hotel. I had a little guy who came through the interview process, and because I am who I am, I let him know how to continue to set up moving forward, okay? I wanted to fire him the first time I put out a schedule, and he said, oh, I can't work on Saturdays. What do you mean? It's against my religion. Why didn't you say that in the interview process? I ask you, what shifts are you not available for? You say you can come anytime. But the communication then and the patience that I had him understand that the next time he went to go apply somewhere, he needed to be upfront and honest. Because everybody probably won't give him that fair shake. Okay? So, know your availability. But then you better know the organization environment you're going in. You want to work in customer service and hospitality, but you want to be off on the weekends? Don't want to work in customer service and hospitality. That's the busiest time. When do people come into those places? When do they do what they need to do? Hey, I want to work at a restaurant, but I got to be off by 5 o'clock. How you going to serve dinner? Dinner start at 6. These are the things, the requirements, and expectations to make sure that you are set up for success. How do you feel so far? Huh? Because if you feel like you know your availability, then apply. Apply for that position if you got that availability. If it fits within what you got, then you need to make sure that if the location and environment works, apply. It makes sense, correct?
Yep.
If you agree with the mission and you know that you can buy into it, apply. That makes sense to me. Go ahead.
My problem, I have a lot of times I'm my last job, I needed a job.
Mm-hmm.
So I was willing not to do anything, but to overlook some of the things that I've seen in order to work.
Okay.
Because I needed a check.
Yeah.
So that's some of the problems that I have. Say the mission, the location. Sometimes it may be 40, 30 miles away from where I live. I need a job.
Right. Now there are some organizations that specialize in just needing a job, but have you thought about what you want to do as far as your career? Because a job is a job. I got it.
Yeah, definitely. And I've been thinking about that a lot, and I got a plan in the works right now. But yeah, definitely my career I'm gonna have to go to school to get.
Okay.
But a job,
you're gonna have a job to maintain that school, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Exactly.
And it's hard to go to school and work.
It is.
Full-time job with family.
It is. Oh yeah. It's one of them. That's one of the things where you're gonna have to get your mind right, and you're gonna have to always rely on that friendly reminder of if I don't, then what's gonna happen, right? If this gets too hard and I think it's too hard, it's like, okay, great, how I'm gonna work this out today, right? That's like getting that full hand of cards in the spades game and not having no spades. You can't throw it in. You're gonna be like, all right, we're gonna make this work. Let me rock it, right? We figure it out because we have to. And this is what that's saying is just that, hey, there are going to be some times where you're going to have to overlook some things, but you're going to have to make sure that the next couple of steps, you're able to pull it into place as far as those nonverbal cues. And we're going to get there. All right? So I'll go ahead on and talk about the position. Make sure you apply. Requirements and expectations. Make sure that you apply. If all of those things match, let's rock, right? It makes sense. But when I tell you about those nonverbal cues, like that body language speaks louder than words.
True.
So when I think about body language and how it speaks louder than words, can you take a moment to reflect real fast? What do you bring to the table? When it comes to body language, what do you bring to the table? Because they see you before they hear you.
True.
And if they see you before they hear you, how are they seeing you? Yeah, let's think about that.
With me, like, I always know, like, whatever's going on in my life, whether it's good or bad, once I go, like, to an interview at the door, I try to give them 100% of who I am, minus my life. I don't have a life once I get to work with it. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
So I'm smiling, I'm sitting up, even though, like, I'm going to sit there, I want to laugh, but I'm sitting up, smiling, straight eye contact, not talking too much, not talking too much. I'm not talking at all. But I'm smiling, I'm constantly smiling. I was like, you have a beautiful smile. Right. Because people can tell a lot in your smile.
Take try out of your vocabulary. That's all you got to do. Either you do it or you don't. But when you try to do it, okay? So take that out of your vocabulary. But they see you before they hear you, so your behavior, your actions, and your body language have to match. It's only fair. When things are testing your patience, Does your body language equal a calming presence? But those are some of the things that we got to make sure that we're able to pull back on, because this is a game. This is a game. And now you're set out here to play this game knowing that there are going to be things that's going to tap on your patience. So what is going to be that friendly reminder that's going to pull you back in and say, let me get that body language right. Let me get that body language right. Go ahead.
I just recently got fired from my job.
Okay.
For fighting.
Well, I mean,
And I've tried to control my attitude, and it's like sometimes I treat my work environment like I do a street environment. If you don't bother me, I will not bother you, and that's my life. That's what I try to do, and I don't know.
Well, that then has to click into the approachability.
I'm very approachable. I always speak when
It all
I'm
depends.
work.
It all depends. It all depends. You just told me that I treat people how they treat me.
Yes, definitely.
But in a work environment, that can't be okay, because who's going to pay in the end? You get fired.
They're not always gonna treat you like you treat them.
Exactly. You're going to have to figure out what's going to be that level that's going to have that inviting and warming, no matter who's poking on your patience. And that's going to have to come deep within, because I know, as you said before, that it's hard. It is very, very hard, especially when people are tapping on that patience, doing those things that you know are going to set you off. How do I keep that mindset and that understanding that if I pop off like I would in the streets, I'm going to end up on the streets?
Some people do it and they know they're getting on your nerves. They just do it intentionally.
So then do we handle it like the streets? Do we say that snitches is going to get stitches, or are we going to go and tell our superior that there's something that's going on that we need to get together because I need a healthy work environment so I can be successful? Or do we treat it like the streets? Right? We think about those things, and just like a welcome mat, we can't judge. A welcome mat don't move just because somebody was nasty. They don't. They don't. They're always approachable. They're always inviting. And I know that what I'm telling you is easier said than done. But it's got to be figured out. And even if it's at that time of the moment where you're able to communicate effectively. There could be an organization where if you're getting handled in a way that you don't agree with, you have to figure out, okay, what is going to be the perfect time and the perfect way that I'm able to have a conversation with my employer so we can figure out how we are going to communicate. And so I'm able to perform at my best. But it can't be at the time where you've done so much wrong that now you're trying to retaliate, because it's not going to work. You know, the first time that somebody does something that bothers you, you need to be able to figure out, hey, I don't quite understand this. When these situations happen, this is the level of anxiety that it gives me. How am I going to be able to communicate this effectively, and how are we going to work together so we can make sure that we're able to be successful? Because this is a game. It really is a game. And if I came to work not to make any friends, just to do my job, the day has changed to where you're going to have to be welcoming and I'm not trying to tell you skip and hold hands with people. That's not it. I don't need you to make your very best friend. But what I am telling you is that no matter how you are being handled, if you have not had the chance to set it up effectively, when you try to take matters into your own hand without going to the proper chain of command, you wind up handling the situation in a way that it's not going to work out beneficial or successful for you. And I know, like I said, that it's easier said than done, especially when people are tapping on your patience. When they're tapping on your patience, it's like one of those things of golly, you know, thank you so much. So that way you don't end up trying to say anything to where you're going to retaliate. Whoever you were arguing with or fighting with, how hard was it to walk away?
Man, it was hard.
Wish you would have, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wish.
Of course. Now, we're still on our way to that interview process, y'all, and you're still here that I'm just still talking about body language approachability, and then that next thing that you said about that eye contact. Eye contact is the utmost way of showing respect. When you're sitting in the interview process, what do you bring to the table as far as eye contact? Eye contact, if you are speaking to people and you're making eye contact with them, you come across trustworthy, right? You come across understanding. You come across attentive, as if you're ready to recognize, do what's necessary. It shows that individual that you're communicating with, that you are responsive and that you're being subordinate. If different cultures do different things, like some people say, hey, we're not supposed to look at this, look at that. I don't care what it is. In the business environment and in our work culture, eye contact is necessary. You got to do it. Looking off to the left, not maintaining eye contact with people gives people suspicion. You don't want people to think that of you, especially if they're just now still in the reading process. Everybody has the ability to read. So how we carry ourselves is going to be super duper important. Very, very important. The last thing is, we got to make sure that we smile. And I put up, when in doubt, put your teeth out. Y'all, that is a brand. That is a brand. I always say teeth out because that means that you're happy, you're smiling. It confuses people. It gives you opportunity. It makes them maybe think that you're crazy, but at least they think that you're happy crazy, right? Why not? It just makes sense. This is a brand now for me. Teeth out means that I'm happy. Y'all, when I say I cannot go anywhere in Greensboro without a smile, and I literally mean anywhere. Last week at my part-time job, I was in the bathroom. Boy, it was a day. It was a day. I had a friend calling me in the middle of my day saying, hey, I messed up your car, so I need you to come. It was another, I seen how big your eyes got. Yes, that's not what I wanted to hear in the middle of my day. Then I got my mom and my sister fighting because of a wedding dress and what that's going to look like, and I'm trying to calm them down, all in the middle of meeting and trying to motivate the community. So I go to work. I'm in the bathroom. My GM walks in and said, Ivy, what's wrong? I thought I could be in the bathroom for a moment and just not smile, but I guess I'm going to have to smile in here too. I've had a bad day. Oh, then she said, let me just give you a moment. And she walked out because she understood that even the happiest of the happiest have to sometimes take a moment. But if you're in an interview, and the interviewee, the person who's sitting across from you, can't get a smile, and this is about the opportunity, when they trying to write you up, they're going to be scared. They're going to be scared if you're not even smiling at them in the interview process. A smile is the opportunity, it's the engagement, it's what's going to make them feel like it's going to be the make or the break, and I mean it. So, when I look back and I think about these things, I think about, do I walk it like I talk it? Meaning, do I carry myself and my body around with the right body language, right? So when I think about that, I think about, what do I bring to the table, right? Are you approachable? That's one of the things we have to work on. We got to make sure that we are always approachable because we got to welcome in every opportunity. Always be approachable. You always got to make sure you look them in the eye. That's coming to the table prepared and ready. That's showing them that you got your respect on. You're ready to get your learn on. You're ready to be engaging. You got to make eye contact. And then you got to always have your teeth out. I mean, y'all think it's crazy, but I mean, I've been smiling, and I'm going to keep smiling all the time because smiling is the easiest thing you can do with your mouth. It is the easiest thing you can do with your mouth, and then to know that people then tell you, I know you said it already, you got such a great smile. So why not use that weapon? Put them teeth out there. It makes sense. I'm 12 slides into my presentation, and have y'all noticed that I haven't even mentioned a word about opening your mouth yet? Okay? So please understand that it takes a lot of preparation to get ready for an opportunity. You gotta get your mind right. You gotta get your body language together, your behavior together, your teeth out. You gotta be ready for this. Those are the steps about making sure you do your research and making sure that you're planning. Because you're gonna then know that within some environments you might have to smile a little bit harder. In some positions you're gonna have to smile a little bit harder. It's only fair to start practicing. Would you walk around smiling so hard for I'm happy? You know, I'm waiting on an opportunity. And then sometimes it's just like you said before, it ain't gonna happen exactly when we want it. But if you're smiling, at least when it happens, you're gonna be ready. Right? So it just makes sense to make sure that we are doing these things. Alright, we're gonna break it down into some of the things like, what do you bring to the table when it's time to open your mouth? Are you understood when you are communicating with these employers? Alright? We already know that key word is tone. Tone is everything, ain't it? Tone is everything, and we already know that it ain't about what you say. It's all about how you say it. It's pretty safe to say that tone is a mood breaker, ain't it? Tone can change moods, right? You believe that?
Yeah.
I mean, I know, I just did it. I was talking to y'all like this, and then I got a little bit loud, and y'all like, yeah, no, I'm discussing. But tone can change behaviors. It changes moods. So we must always be mindful about our tone. If we already know that we don't like people yelling at us, how are we going to yell at them and then be mad? It's all about that mind game. People are human beings. We didn't get mad when they start showing out, but when we show out, it's like, hey, I can make a mistake. Ain't know why you mad. Right? So, tone must match the body language. Right? If ain't nothing wrong, you better carry yourself like ain't nothing wrong. You're excited, you're very happy to be here, your body language gotta match it. It only makes sense. That's how people, I've had people sit in the community conversation, they tell me, well, I got high energy. I like, Mike, I can't tell. Are you serious? Don't talk me to death, show me. So if your tone matches your body language, you're already set, you're winning. You gotta make sure that your tone presents positive at all times if you want people to receive you positively. And I know that that's hard, especially when people are tapping on your patience. If you can't handle your tone, then don't say nothing, because I can guarantee you that once you let that cannon loose, you can't eat it back. You can't take it back. So you have to be mindful. Make sure that the tone and how it comes across is going to be approachable. That's how people receive you. Tone also falls into authenticity. You gotta be genuine. You gotta be true. Authenticity is magnetic. People can feel it. If you aren't being genuine, if you aren't being true, people know that. They feel that. And when your authenticity, it can be felt a mile away. And if you aren't in it, people can feel it. If you just came to the job just because you need a check, people can feel it. But if you came to the job because you came to do what you said you needed to do, and that's go to school, make sure you take care of your household so you can actually get to that career that you want, then you better be genuine and you better be true about it.
And you know, that's the my last response. That was my whole objective. You know, I thought of it as a job to take care of bills.
Uh-huh.
But I thought of it like this: I'm not gonna spend forever here.
Of course.
I'm not. It's a means to an end, and that's the way I took it. That's the way I was. You know, I didn't go in and tell everyone that, you know, I ain't gonna be here long. You know, I just done my job. I always, from start to finish, I was doing my job.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know.
Well, I can tell you what. What was their mission?
My mission, my goal.
No. What was their mission?
Their mission.
Did you believe in it? That's why you couldn't be.
Oh yeah, I knew I wasn't. I had no intentions of staying there long.
Right, but that's not it. Even though that way you weren't even being able to set yourself up to put yourself in a position to actually get the next opportunity.
You know,
That wouldn't even be a resource for you to put on your resume if you were just going through the motions and weren't really genuine, authentic, and true about it. Because when you're genuine and authentic and true, somebody's going to say, that's a little bit beneath you. Come here, let me show you something that I feel like, because I can see how real you handling that. Sometimes people forget that little bit of the component. Sometimes people forget that little bit of a component, even if it's not going to be the last thing, it's going to be the best thing. They're going to remember me, even if they going to hate to see me go. Because I was just that good. I poured everything that I had into it. And I was genuine. I was real. I was true. I was authentic. Because I could buy into the mission. I could stand by it. I believed in it. And it got all of the opportunities because I was able to go in there, be genuine, and be true. It's one of the things that people feel. It's that emotion. It's that good feeling, right? So, always be authentic. Knowledge. Knowledge is key, y'all. Knowledge is key. Remember when I talked about that research thing? When I talked about the research thing and the research that we knew we had to do to make sure that we could get set up, that meant we had to be knowledgeable about the position that we wanted to be in. We had to be knowledgeable about what role we actually wanted to play. So that way when these employees ask us those open-ended questions, because they're coming all day long. But you're knowledgeable and you've done your research, so then you're answering questions that's going to sell yourself. Not about what you do in your personal time, not about what you like, but you've done your research because you know what position that you want to be in. So now you're highlighting the ways that you know that you're able to bring it to the table. You're setting them up with a little piece of confidence, right? You got to be able to know your strengths and your weaknesses, my friends, when it's coming down to knowledge. My passion is my strength, and my passion is my weakness. Let me tell you about why. If I'm passionate, when it comes down to my passion, if I believe in it, it's a good thing. Oh, it's a good thing. I'm going to be passionate. Everybody's going to be following me. They'll be like, oh, IBS. But if I don't believe in it, I can't get passionate behind it. I'm going to be all against it. And then people are going to feel that because I'm that energetic. The energy that I give is that much of powerful that people they move off of it. So I'm already aware that my passion is my strength and my weakness. Well, what are you doing to work on, Davy? Well, the things that I don't believe in, I'm trying to step back from so I can get a better understanding so I don't use all of that energy to stir people away from those things. Right? I'm being confident about it. I'm sticking to the facts because every time we communicate, if we lack confidence, people will question your competence. If you don't go in there, if you don't do the research about what position, if you don't go in there and do the research for people to give you the opportunity to say, hey, what did you really find out? Stick to the facts. Don't put your feelings into any of that. You have to be able to stick to the facts when it comes down to the knowledge. And it's knowledge about yourself. Okay? You gotta know what you're talking about when you're going in to sit down. And like I said, there's going to be open-ended questions. Open-ended questions the whole time through. Alright? And I don't need you filling air with what you think these people want to hear. Because then they're going to get you out there on the floor and then they're going to be expecting it. So you got to know what you're knowledgeable about, know what you're talking about, so that way when you're able to go in, you're able to present your true self. You're able to show up authentic. You're able to have the right tone. Your body language will match it. You're going to be smiling about it because it's going to be easy. It's going to make sense. Right? It sounds real easy, don't it? Sound real easy. So, self-ownership. You have to own your life. You have to own all of this. Let me tell you, when people don't receive you, especially how you anticipate them to, take some ownership. Have enough confidence to ask them, what do I need to do? What do I need to change? What could I do better? I got a little story about some ownership, my friends. And this is how I learned my little lesson on how I could do better. I don't know a lot of people who like to say, I'm not living my dream because of me.
I know that.
Okay. Does that mean that you only have one dream? Exactly. But you learned some things and you've taken some ownership from the mistakes that you've made with you. At least I hope. And if not, that's the part of the ownership that I'm talking about on how you're able to change what has happened in the past and not thinking that it's them, but knowing that it's me. And I need to do something about it and I need to own it. So there are things that I said that I'm confident about. That's hospitality, customer service, and basketball. Oh yeah, she's a basketball girl. And the ownership portion had to come. It wasn't easy, but I was playing basketball, playing so good that my coach said, hey, Ivy, we're going to give you this highlight tape and we're going to shoot you over to Germany. You have a fantastic time. I said, yes, I'm going to continue living my dream because all I wanted to do was play basketball. I didn't want to go. I started working at a restaurant because I knew if Germany called, it would be the easiest thing to leave. I wanted to play basketball for the rest of my life and I still actively play. Okay? Now, I went to Germany and I wish, like what I'm doing for you all right now with trying to set you up with understanding going into this interview process, somebody could tap me on the shoulder and said, Ivy, this is how you need to behave when you get overseas. But I'm telling you what, couldn't nobody tell me nothing because I thought that I was the top at basketball. All right? So, ownership always takes you a little bit of time to be willing to learn. All right? So, I'm over playing basketball, playing my heart out. And at that time, about 15 years ago, my knees were in a whole lot better shape, so I could dunk almost, y'all. I'm talking about smacking backboards, looking at girls like, what, you wish you could jump like me? They can jump better, they can jump higher than me now. They make girls different now. I'm trying to tell you what to do. But the reality situation was, I went up for a layup and got undercut, y'all. I fell so hard through the floor that I turned around and I looked at the referee, and it could have been my tone. I definitely know it was my body language. Nobody really could hear what was going on because I was in the arena, but what they saw was me asking the referee, how did you call a foul? I didn't think anything was wrong with that. Of course, but guess what? It's not about what we think. It's about the people who are providing us this opportunity and what they think. So what happened was, people saw me questioning authority. Because if the referee had the whistle and they didn't call the foul, then it wasn't foul. So guess what I automatically said in the ownership? If the referee would have called the foul, I still would have been living my dream. Isn't that what we usually do? If somebody would have done what they, like if that man wasn't running his mouth, you wouldn't have had the problem, you probably still would have had your job. It's real. We do it. It's human nature to say if somebody else would have done something differently, I wouldn't have had to act like this. I wouldn't let it go for years until I understood that, whoa, you know what, Ivy? If you just wouldn't have asked that referee why he wouldn't have called a foul, you would not have been ejected from your dreams. But I didn't want to show ownership. I didn't feel like it was me. No, it was him. He should have called that foul, right? You better not say, yeah, no, I should have shut my mouth. I know that now. I know that now. I know. But that's to whose expectation. Just like I didn't think that Kyle Carver that boy got fouled when he was getting shot that three. You know, I didn't think it was a foul, but the referee blew the whistle. The guy complained, I didn't think it was a foul. Every time Draymond Green don't think it's a foul, dude. He don't never think it's a foul. He get text, he get fined, he still ain't gonna shut up. He got that money. I had to shut my mouth. I ain't got it.
I thought about that whenever you were talking about talking back to the referee and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, how do they do in the professional arena? I was wondering, and whenever I saw that, I thought about you even.
Yes,
So
because it's sometimes it works, and then that's one of the things that we do too. We get so beat up and wrapped up in the fact that I gotta own my stuff, but I just watched them get away with it.
Yeah.
Ownership is real. Ownership is real, and then we get bitter, we get mad. Oh, they picking on me. No, you got caught.
Yeah.
Own it. They didn't. They don't have to own it yet, but it's gonna catch up to them eventually. You can only worry about you and stay in your lane now. You only have control over you. So ownership is key. You gotta own every interaction, every time that you're out there. If it doesn't work the right way, it is you and it's not them. But if you ask them, is there something I can do differently? No, then it's them. You just need, that's not your audience. Go away, go somewhere else, okay? That's when you turn that on. Appreciation is the next piece of the puzzle. You gotta make sure that you are grateful. You remember what we talked about when you said that you got an opportunity tomorrow. Go in owning it. Go in winning. Go in with a positive mentality. And if for any reason, at the end, you are able to thank them for the time, thank them for the opportunity, and ask them, is there anything else I need to work on to grow? They're going to feel like, oh, well, she might listen. Then you thank them again. Appreciation is key. Every time. Is there any information that you would give me to grow? Well, thank you for that too. Appreciation is key, especially when someone has taken the time to sit down with you. When someone has taken the time to sit down with you in the interview process, you always want to be grateful for every opportunity. Before you leave, you need to make sure that you're asking the right questions too. Am I following up with you or are you following up with me? Thank you. I just want to be clear. Thank you. That pleasantry at the end is letting people know that you're grateful. To be grateful is to be successful. Why not want to be successful? What do you bring to the table, friends? What do you bring to the table when you think about it? Has your body language always been the best? Has your approachability always been the best? Do you feel like me walking around with your teeth out all the time? Huh? We can push that up just a little bit, right? What about our tone? Has our tone always been the best? When we come to the table, do we come knowledgeable? Or do we feel like, oh, I just want a job, I'm willing to do anything? Better slow down and take that time to do that little bit of research because it's necessary. What do you bring to the table? You got a lot, both of you. It's just the tools and how you're using to use them. How you want to work with them. How are you carrying yourself? Are you carrying yourself in a way that you could possibly be misunderstood? If that's the case, what are you going to change? What are you willing to change in order to do better if you want more? What do you bring to the table? Do you have any questions about anything? I wanted to plug my information again. Here I am. I want y'all to please, I even on this slide put my personal information as well so you can follow me on my personal social media. On YouTube, I got the video. I was live, so I can make sure that I update this video to what I am working on. But the opportunity is truly yours. I specialize in helping you get out of your own way because the only person who can stop you is you. All right. Thank you. I appreciate it very, very, very much.
You ain't a man?
Huh?
You ain't a man?
I'm working on growing some of the things. One of the things that I learned is that tone is just key. Tone is key. I have mastered understanding how to keep a positive tone. But I also know that when that trigger is going, I need to remove myself from the situation and take a moment to calm down and take all of my personal feelings out of it so I can make sure when I deliver this message, they hear me. Because if I'm still angry, that's all they hear. If I'm still upset, they only hear upset. But once I've taken a moment, and sometimes it takes overnight, you might need to sleep on it. Sleep off some of that anger. Sleep off some of that frustration. So therefore, you're able to communicate. One of the things that I like to think about is that in the work environment, well, I think about it like war. It is. Sometimes, especially if you're in the kitchen or if you're doing something at a high pace, it's like war. At war, I don't have the time to nicely tell you, they shooting. I'm going to need you to move. Or you're going to die. And sometimes that's in the leadership's mind. We're at war. I don't have time to be nice. A good leader knows how to come back around and say, hey, you did a good job at war today. I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. I know that I kind of push you when we get and the bullets are flying. How you want me to handle you? That's a good leader. I trained that too. I'm talking to Facebook Live. I trained that. But as a follower in that situation, you may need a day to go home to bring that all the way down. And then go back to work and say, when you get a moment, can we talk to your supervisor? And they'll say, okay, great. Well, I'm going to get a moment. Sometimes this surprises supervisors. When you approach them and say, when you have a moment, can we talk? They may say, I got a moment, let's talk. Because you approached me right. You say, yesterday we were at war. We were at war. You pushed me. Threw my whole day off. So today, and moving forward, when we go to war, you can handle me like this. Therefore, I will act like this. And I know that every day is not going to be perfect. So can we make sure that we can at least agree to try to do that? So therefore, I can be successful, be my best self. Anything else that I need to work on so I can make sure that I'm not getting these? That's showing ownership. That's showing that, hey, I want to just do better. That's like, here is my manual. Can you read it? And can you handle me with care? 9 times out of 10, sometimes people say, oh, I know how to work that. Let me go put it together. They don't read the manual. So you got to be able to communicate your manual when people mishandle you. But your tone has to be right. Because if they mishandle you and they're the boss, but then you want to show out and try to mishandle them more? Don't work like that. Got to know your role, got to know your place. And sometimes people just don't know what's happening. I've been in several situations, and again, because I am this calm individual, I know how to play a lot of different roles and I wear a lot of different hats. So, my partners, my 1618 family, I am a host at a restaurant in the evening. Do I feel like I know how to run that whole restaurant? Yeah. Do I feel like I can get feedback all over the place? Yeah. But what do? Host at that restaurant. When they ask me to do training, oh yes, I'll wear the trainer hat. But what they pay me for is to be the host at that restaurant, so that's what I do. Now there are some things that I just can't let slide that I say some things about because it's only fair. However, I know how to set up feedback loops. The cook in the kitchen yelled at me. Stab your tickets. Whoa. You don't have to do all that. I'm the only one running food. You standing right there, pick the ticket up, stab it yourself. You don't have to yell at me. I know I don't present that I look as old as I am, but the one thing that I would say, excuse me, little young man, what you're not going to do is disrespect me. If I miss a ticket, just let me know the next time I'm in the kitchen. You don't need to yell at me. I'm not yelling at you. I was yelling. I didn't even know. Actually, I didn't put on there, but he kind of cursed. And that was kind of I could have popped off. But I knew that if I would have popped off, where it was going to land me. So I said, hey, the next time you give me some feedback, you need to say something to me, make sure that you don't cuss at me. Because I'm not cussing at you. I cussed, I am so sorry. The rest of that night, he was just sorry. Because he was in the heat of the moment. And sometimes when you're caught up in the heat of the moment, you say things and do things that you weren't supposed to. But I got enough self-control within me not to pop back off because I've been through too many times of popping off. And in my Dave Chappelle voice, when keeping it real goes wrong, it goes wrong. All the way to the left. Don't keep it real in the professional world. You can keep it real in the streets, but not in here. This is real. Sometimes you gotta hear that. Being able to communicate, sometimes you just, even though it's tapping and wearing on your patience, you always have to have the calming presence. You have to have that self-control, that willpower. But if you're human and you make mistakes and you pop off, own it. Just to know you can't go back there to work.
Yeah.
It's real. It's real. You burnt that bridge.
Yeah, yeah.
You own it. You put gasoline on it. You blew it up. You gotta own it. I know it's easier said than done.
Yes, it is.
It is easier said than done. But that's why I started doing what I'm doing. That's why I wanted to make sure that I continue to share this conversation. Because I know the struggle of not living in a professional environment and having to go to work in a professional environment. That's a full-time job. That's a full-time job for us. This is real. It is a full-time job for us. I'm in the position that I'm in now. I've been able to go into others' homes and they have an office. Come on, Ivy, come on in, meet me in the office. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna meet you in the office of your home. Y'all not coming to my house. I'm not meeting you here because I'm not like that at home. I'm kicking my shoes off. I don't, yes, ma'am, or hey, can you bring us in some water? We don't do that at home. You better get up and go to the refrigerator. And you better not leave it open too long.
That's right.
So, if it's already understood that it's a full-time job and this is a game, just learn the rules and play it. Just learn the rules and play it. I like to use this analogy. Do not go to the basketball court, tell them, hey, we're going to play 5-on-5. It's going to be shirts against skins. Everybody ready? All right, set, hike. Who did that sound like?
Football.
Exactly, but I'm on the basketball court. So if I'm on the basketball court, I got to play basketball, I want to play football, go to that environment and do it. We got to make sure that we keep that self-control. Because it's a game. And they think they playing us. And once we take that ownership, we can play it. We can play it. That means you, and that means you. Who's controlling the game that you're playing? What do you bring to the table? Thank you. I appreciate it very, very much, y'all. If y'all have any questions, like I said, I hope you wrote down my information and know how to get in contact with me.